If we had it our way, she probably wouldn't have social media until she's like in college.
An adult.
25. Moved out in college.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Parent Chat. Today's guest is Nick Viall and Natalie Joy. They are the hosts of the Netflix show Age of Attraction, and they are the perfect hosts because there's an 18-year age gap between them. You might know Nick from The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. He's also the host of the Viall Files podcast, which he hosts with Natalie. And Natalie is a certified surgical technologist and currently a social media star. She's an influencer and a content creator. And we thought it would be a perfect conversation to discuss age gap parenting. But you know what? As it turns out, they parent exactly the same way. They couldn't be more compatible when it comes to parenting, but they have a lot of different takes on various different issues. We had such a wonderful conversation, and I can't wait for you to hear it. Thank you guys so much for talking with me. This is going to be a great conversation. How excited is River? What kind of big sister do you expect her to be?
She's honestly shockingly for her age. I mean, I guess we just don't know any different, but she seems so aware of what's going on. She's got two twin little baby dolls that my best friend got her, and she like walks them around. She changes their diapers. She's like, oh, there's two babies in mama's belly. Like, she'll put her hands on and she'll ask them to kick. It's like she seems like she is an absolute genius.
Yeah, it is a good age gap though. You know, by the time they're born, I think she is in that helpful phase, and kids do want to help a lot more than you think they do. Like, even if it's just grabbing the diaper or grabbing this or that.
Yeah, she's good at that now. She likes little tasks. You know, she likes she has to pick up the dog bowls after they eat, and she's got her things that she does, and she likes them. So
I love that. So I have absolutely no experience with girls. I have 3 little boys. But one thing I do know, so I can't offer advice there, but one thing I do know is, as a mom of boys, I feel like I get a lot of credit, right? Like, I'm kind of a superhero, right? Like, I'm a mom taking care of 3 boys. And Nick, I think for you, you're going to get, and Natalie, you deserve it, but Nick, you're going to get all of that credit where it's like, oh, you're a dad to 3 girls. Like, are you ready for that?
100%. And like, you know, it's a bit of a cop out, a little bit. I have a friend, and I think most young men have like women, you think about, oh, I'd love to have a son someday. Right. And so I have a friend who had 3 daughters first. And then he had a son for his 4th. And I was like, oh, you must have been really excited to like, just, get that one boy. And he mentioned that he was actually pretty nervous. And I was a bit surprised by that. And he kind of talked about how girls are really easy. And that he had some kind of fears about kind of projecting onto his son, whether it's his failures or his accomplishments or whatever it is. And it really kind of resonated with me. And now that I've become a father of a daughter, that makes a lot of sense, because like, I think with little girls, with dads, there's this, like, it's just so easy to love them, and I just feel like, I think I have a big responsibility, and maybe a difficult one, but my responsibility, I feel like, as a father of a daughter, is just to like give her the confidence to believe in herself, and make her feel loved and make her feel valued, so that when she goes out in the world, she knows what that looks like, and there's a healthy part of that. But that's just like, all you gotta do is love your kid, and I think sometimes fathers, and I know, because I've always had this, I would love to have a son. I could see myself, it would be harder for me to not project, and do those things. And I think there's an effortlessness when it comes to fathers and daughters, and in a way that, I'll take the credit, but I don't know if I think it's a little easier for fathers to do that.
So you guys have been so open about putting so much of your life out there for everyone to take in. People love to celebrate with you guys. I know when you had the gender reveal, everybody was so excited to, see the announcement. But you've also shared a lot of the hardships and, especially the miscarriages and everything. Was there ever a point, maybe after the first, where you didn't want to share anymore, but you felt like you kind of owed that to your fans?
Not Not necessarily. I felt like they created a very safe space for us during that time. That was a really, we didn't know after the first one. It was like, how do I come back to this show, The Viall Files? How do I talk pop culture? Like things that I don't care, like this is just real life things that are happening to me. And I can't go on this show and act like they're not. But I've had so many people be like, I couldn't ever put those feelings into words until I heard you say them. And like, I felt, because it's the most alone feeling you'll ever feel. And, it's like this shame within your body. And so it's to have someone else talk about it. It finally felt like, oh, I'm seen. Oh, I'm not alone. I think we've created a safe community within our audience of like, this is what we're going through. And luckily a lot of them, allow us the grace to process and go through them at our own time.
It is interesting when you put it out there, and it is I've suffered one miscarriage, and I remember we were kind of on like a group vacation, so there's just like a lot of people around and everybody's happy, everybody's on vacation, and I was hiding the fact that I was pregnant, so I'm like pretending to drink but not really drinking. And that night is kind of when the miscarriage happened, and I remember also hiding the fact that I was, in addition to hiding the fact that I was pregnant, dealing with this miscarriage. And I'm like, I'm surrounded by people. There's literally no one I can talk to. I'm like crying in my bed in so much pain because no one really tells you how painful, like physically painful it is. And I'm like, man, I wish I could share this with someone. And and you can't always do that.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I mean, it's almost like why, like why can't you, or like, and obviously it's a very personal thing. And when we found out we were pregnant with the twins and things were progressing in a positive direction prior to the last three, there was like, we were having this kind of conversation about, we were really excited. And the more we progressed, we were telling more and more friends and family. And there's always this like, kind of like almost, well, it is it's like unofficial rule, don't tell anyone until, because you never know. And you're kind of almost, and it's like, and I get the sentiment, but after having experienced it 3 times, and because we chose to share it so publicly, and then we chose to share every other time, I remember kind of saying to Natalie, it's just like, well, we don't really have to wait, or there's no like unofficial rule we have to follow, because no matter what happens, we have kind of chosen this path to share our journey. And obviously we're in a unique situation because like most people like don't go on and be like, hey, guess what's going on in my life? But while the sentiment makes a lot of sense, the almost like consequence of that is that you realize in the first time you experience this with Natalie is this like, it's like this community that feels so alone and they have no one to talk to because like, I guess, I don't know, society or what has said, like, keep this private, don't tell anyone. And I get it. Like, it's difficult. Some tragedy happens and you don't want to have to go back. But like, I think as an almost negative consequence, we have made a bunch of mothers feel like they almost can't share it in a weird way. I think it should be more okay for young parents to maybe not keep it so private, or at least not feel like, what I'm saying? It's just kind of a weird thing that like we have realized as a result of choosing to share it, where like, do parents and especially mothers have to feel so alone in those difficult times?
Yeah. Cause it's so true. It does feel like something for whatever reason, we don't talk about. And I remember when I first came on the Today Show, it was after my miscarriage, and then I had secondary infertility. And I was scared to death to tell anybody about it because I'm like, well, everybody's going to judge me because I already have one child, and there are a lot of people who can't have one child. And here I am, how dare you want a second child? But it actually turns out when I went to my doctor, there was something physically wrong. Like my uterus was scarred shut. There was a reason why I kept having miscarriages and I couldn't have any more kids. And then he cleared out the scar tissue and I was able to have my second and eventually my third. So it's like by sharing these stories, maybe somebody who's sitting at home can be like, well, maybe that's my problem. Maybe I'll ask the doctor about that, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think talking about it only does good things for everyone around us.
I mean, I found, after 3 and after one healthy pregnancy, one healthy delivery, I was 26 years old at the time. And it was like, my doctors were like, what? We don't know what's going on. Like my OB was like, I've got to send you to a fertility specialist. Like maybe IVF is your next route. And I was like, that feels like a lot right now. I just, I want to figure out what's wrong with me. And we ran all these tests and everything just kept coming back normal. And Nick went through all these tests and he came back above average and perfect, of course. And it was like, well, then what is wrong? There has to be something. And finally, they decided to test for something that they just don't really test for anymore. And that was the thing that I have. And it's like this gene mutation that basically my blood attacks the fetus as soon as it tries to attach. And like this thing that they just were like, I don't know, we'll just test for it because it's the last thing on our list, I guess. And that's what it was. And so it's the people who are sitting at home like, I don't know why this is happening to me. Well, maybe it's this thing that they don't even test for anymore.
Yeah. Well, I certainly think you guys are doing good. And I'm so glad you're in the position you're in right now. Again, congratulations. It's just such an exciting time.
I know. It's so surreal, especially like, finding out that it's twins. It's just like, it's so surreal. It's crazy.
Still trippy.
Yeah. So how did you two meet?
I slid into his DMs on Instagram.
Like literally, that's a true story.
Yes.
Yeah.
A modern day love story.
I don't know if we'd make that one up,
Yeah, we'd probably be like, we bumped into each other at a grocery store. We were both reaching for the Rouse tomato sauce.
So as the hosts of The Age of Attraction on Netflix, I think we can kind of dive into this, age gap relationship you guys have. Nick, you're 18 years older?
Yes.
It's funny because I always thought it was weird when my dad was 5 years older than my mom. And then it turns out I was 5 years older than my ex-husband, when we were married. And it's like, now it just doesn't seem to be a thing. Do you guys like notice it day to day, or it's just really not a thing?
Yeah. I mean, our day-to-day lives, I don't notice it at all, I mean, I guess in some ways I definitely feel like I'm getting older and Natalie likes to, the one thing that I really seem to have shortchanged Natalie is I was in some really, really great shape until I was like 37. And I'm in totally fine shape now, but I was really rocking and rolling. And there are some pictures online of that period in which I feel like Natalie feels a bit shortchanged. I think so much about relationships is, I talk about it all the time, the compatibility. And I know like a lot of people say, oh, what do these two people have in common and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, a lot, honestly. Like, and sometimes it's like the little things. Like, I've never enjoyed spending so much time with someone that I enjoy spending with Natalie, especially in my romantic relationships. As a young man, I had this like love will conquer all attitude that kind of turned into almost like this toxic, like, no matter how much you don't get along or can't stand each other, as long as you say you love each other, you can make it work. And certainly all relationships take a ton of work. We work so hard on our relationship every day, but like, given how hard a relationship is, it needs to be easy in between. We love being parents. I've said before, like, I realize as a parent now, there are people who want to have kids and there are people who love being parents. And I feel grateful to have married someone who, like myself, really enjoys being parents. And like that makes it easy for us to have our quality time together. And I feel very lucky to have that, we like a lot of the same shows, there's not all of them. But I don't think you have to have much of an age difference for women in relationships to be like, what the hell are you talking about? And
or like when he shows me a video that he thinks is funny.
Yes.
Like,
And that doesn't matter who's what age.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how old you are.
It's still just not a good video. Do you ever play that stupid game where it's like, well, when I was 20, you were only 2?
Oh, it's my favorite game.
I hate that game.
It's my favorite. I'll find like a photo will come up on my memories or something, and I'll be like, what were you doing in 2008? And he's like,
It would be funny if there weren't people online making the same jokes that have less of a sense of humor about it.
That's a very good point.
It's true.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because I'm 44 and I know how I was raised by my parents. And I wonder if there's a generational gap there, because like my parents were the kind where you just go outside, they don't know what you're doing, they don't know where you are, they ring a bell, you come home for dinner. There's not a lot of talking through feelings, there's not a lot of helicopter parenting. And Natalie, I'm curious for you how you were raised. Was it more hands-on for you?
I was raised by a single mom who had 4 children and worked. She was working single mom. So I was kind of the same way, we couldn't afford a babysitter around the clock. So it was a lot of like, call the cops if you need to, I guess, and yeah, come home when the street light comes on. And a lot of that, I think that was another thing that Nick and I really had in common, was how we wanted to raise and parent our children, and I think there's definitely some things where we teach each other and we come to each other and we're like, I think maybe this is how we should tackle this situation when this happens. And we've always been like that honestly, since she was born, we've like over communicated. Do you think we should? But I don't think we're afraid to kind of push back, when and kind of open the door of like, well, what if it is, more of the gentle parenting side that helps this situation, but not that situation. I think we are very much on the same page, and that was something we realized that we had in common early on.
Mm-hmm. Is there any parenting style you two tend to disagree on?
Yeah, I think it's very situational.
Mm-hmm.
I don't gravitate towards like I don't even know honestly what gentle parenting, I couldn't define it. But I think there's obviously a lot of value in a lot of aspects of that, right? And that, I think to Natalie's point, I don't think it's not like a diet. There are situations where maybe you need some tough love and with a child. There are some situations where, like Natalie kind of taught like to literally get down on their level and communicate with them. Whether it's boys or girls, but I think as a father, especially with women, if I had one dream to like, if one thing I could ensure I teach my daughters is how to realize that they have control over their feelings, and that their perspective on any situation can evolve and change over time. And when we initially feel triggered, that's okay, but like we have like to be open to the possibility of reflecting on that. Tough love isn't a great way of necessarily teaching someone how to process, their emotions and how to like analyze and reflect. And sometimes getting on their level and talking about feelings is a great way of doing that. I know enough, and I have 10 brothers and sisters, that like you can be the most amazing parents and you're going to look back and realize maybe you made some mistakes or you would have done things differently.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because I had a situation over the weekend. My 4-year-old, it was flag football practice, and my 6-year-old also plays on the same flag football team. But my 4-year-old was having one of those meltdowns where he just would not detach from my leg, did not want to go out there. And he rarely does that. And I'm like, just go. Half hour later, he still didn't want to go. But then we hit this point where I think he wanted to go, but he was too embarrassed to go, because now all the other kids on the team will, oh, Rusty, thanks for coming over, that kind of thing. And I sat with him and I said, you can change your like you have the power to change the way you're feeling right now. No one out there cares, but you in this moment have the chance to just turn your feelings around and go out there and play, right? Like you don't have to be embarrassed. It didn't do anything. He still hung on to my leg the rest of the time. But it was the effort. It was the effort of trying to explain to him, like, you can turn your day around, And I think that's something my parents didn't necessarily talk to me about. And, I'm so open to trying to get all of those feelings out on the table with my kids.
just to even attempt that to a 4-year-old is
psychotic.
Well,
no,
I
it's
mean,
great.
but it's great, you know. I mean, because I remember being in my 20s, and like the idea that you could change how you feel about something and you had control is like, I mean, I've told the story a million times, but I was going through a bad breakup, and my dad was like suggesting it's time to get over it, and I literally told him that I had a better chance of levitating, and I believed it when I said it, you know, and because I was this convinced. I can't change how I feel. I'm at the mercy of whatever, and that's obviously not true, but I never like considered the possibility. And so it you know, it's amazing that you're doing that at such an early age. And I imagine it will take a long time, but planting that seed early, I think is a great thing.
So, I mean, you guys, I feel like for the most part have a positive relationship with social media and the fans that adore you guys. So thinking ahead, of course, not anytime soon, but thinking ahead to how your kids will take on social media. Is that something you want to keep away from them for as long as possible? Or
Definitely.
do you want to teach them about
Yeah.
it?
Being in the world that we're in, I think we obviously see a lot of the negative sides of social media. I think watching my like nieces and nephews who are in their teens, who are all on social media, I think I've seen kind of what it has done to them of the compare. And I think it's just a dangerous place and you can't control it. And I think we're going to try.
I really empathize and feel for parents 7-8 years ago when they had no idea how dangerous these phones were. I mean, they're literally weapons of mass destruction. I think that they're putting into kids' hands, and you're giving the entire world access to your kids without you knowing. You know, to help me do what I do. And thank you for saying we have a positive relationship. I don't always feel that way because obviously when it's coming at you, it always, you know, it's just like, to your point, like it's easy to feel like the main character on your phone, and not in a positive way.
I think it also starts with us. I think being very conscious about like being on our phones around our kids, and like, you know, if we're sitting on our phones at the dinner table, then why wouldn't they also want to sit on a phone, you know? And so I think it starts with us of like setting this expectation of, you know, if we had it our way, she probably wouldn't have social media until she's like in college.
An adult.
25.
You know, like moved out in college.
I don't see the upside, you know.
I don't
prior either. I don't think anyone's better for it, you know. I think I have learned to I'm grateful, you know, like so much of our business, you know, is around social media. So I'm grateful for the platform, but I think there's a cost of doing business, and I don't think it's added a ton of meaningful value.
Well, I think it's interesting you say that, because like, as parents, we can control, for the most part, what our kids do, right? And I don't let my kids go on the phone or the iPad. And there was a friend of my son's who's like, "Are you on Roblox?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Can I get Roblox?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, he wants to talk to me on Roblox." And I'm like, "Calvin, we have a house phone. Here's the phone number. And if this kid wants to call you, he can call you on the house phone and you guys can set up a play date." And it's really cute because this kid also happens to have a house phone, and there's one number written by our phone and it's his friend's phone number. And
That's
every
cute.
day after school, they just saw each other at school, but they call each other. They ask
I
for play
love
dates.
that.
They come over, and it's like, if you don't give it to them, they don't have it, right? So it's in our control to not give it to them. But I agree that we all kind of got to be on the same page, because they don't want to miss out on what their friends are doing.
The optimist in me is hopeful that I think more and more people are literally waking up to what social media and its impact on our lives as individuals, as parents, as children. I don't think it's ever going to go away, but I think I'm hoping there's going to be a renaissance, you know, like post-pandemic, you know, type, like to get outside, to you know, whatever it is, to like movie theaters, you know, just whatever it is. I think that, you know, as humans, we are social creatures. We literally need that. And I'm hopeful that we will continue to challenge ourselves and advocate for maybe more an old school way of
Yeah.
socializing than on Roblox or in the DMs.
Well, we're
Yeah.
working on it.
Yeah.
The three of us are working on it. So we like to end on a parenting win. I think for both of you, I'll give you a chance to just something you can think of that happened recently that just made you feel like, I've got this. I'm really good at being a mom, or I'm really good at being a dad.
The other day I was in River's room. I was building her like a building is a stretch. I was screwing in a couple of screws into a step stool so she could like stand at her sink in her bathroom, and brush her teeth. And as soon as I finished, she looked at me and patted me on the shoulder and said, "Good job, Mama."
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God. I just like,
so sweet.
I needed that. It was like, I had been so stressed. The screws weren't going in. I'm like hot. I'm uncomfortable. And she just was like, "Good job, Mama."
Oh.
And loved it. And so I think that
worth
was
the
probably, yeah.
I'm trying to think. Well, recently Natalie had to leave town for a night. And I was left with River. River really likes me. She's obsessed with her mom. But and so she slept in our bed that night. And she kind of woke up hysterical.
Oh.
Wanting her mom. But I think it's just more like, even when that happens, I've never panicked, type of thing, and I think looking back, I don't remember thinking in the moment, but I'm answering the question. I sometimes, it's a little scary sometimes when your kid's freaking out, but to keep that poise is, when you look back, it gives you some confidence. I think I'm a great dad, but like, it's amazing the little things that Natalie does that if I didn't have Natalie, I wonder if I'd figure some of this stuff out. Thankfully I have her. Just like, just things, I don't know, just the little things. I don't, I'm sure that I just take for granted, or that she will introduce into River's world and things like that I'm very grateful to have her. But sometimes when I think of those little things on my own, I'm pretty proud of myself.
As you should be, but it's also really special that you recognize that. And I think you guys are such a great couple, just watching from the outside and getting the chance to talk to you. You guys are so great.
Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah, really thank you for joining me. Wasn't that such a great conversation? I mean, it was so special to watch a couple so in love who supports each other so much through this journey, through the ups and downs that they've had over the course of their relationship. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I'd love to hear your comments, so be sure to comment below. Also follow us on Instagram @TodayParents or @Dylan Dreyer NBC. Keep commenting, keep watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC, or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.